Good evening and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. Our big focus tonight. Prime Minister Modi held an all-party meeting today, a day before Parliament's budget session is slated to begin. In the Lok Sabha, the NDA has a massive majority with 353 members, but it has just 102 members in the 245-member upper house, which could again affect the passing of key bills like the Triple Talaq bill, which will be introduced this session to replace the ordinance issued in February. Is the opposition yet to recover from its shock defeat in the national elections? An opposition strategy session, also customary before every parliament session, hasn't yet been held. The Congress's abysmal performance has not only disqualified it again for the post of leader of the opposition, there is no clarity as to who will lead the party either. Mamata Banerjee is busy firefighting on multiple fronts in Bengal. We asked tonight what a weakened opposition will mean for the functioning of Parliament. We'll also take a closer look at the composition of the 17th Lok Sabha. But joining us live on the program tonight, Derek O'Brien, Rajya Sabha MP and leader of the Trinamool Congress Parliamentary Party in the Rajya Sabha, also chief national spokesperson of the party. Derek O'Brien, you were at that all-party meeting today and you had a very pointed message for the government.
No, on behalf of Trinamool Congress, my senior colleague Shudip Bandyopadhyay and I were there. Trinamool Congress had a few things to say. We had a few constructive suggestions to offer. And we had some points to discuss, some issues to be discussed. The first issue we said, which was of importance, there must be a discussion on electoral reforms, paper ballots, as well as corporate funding of elections. Trinamool have been asking for that since 1998, since the time our party was founded. And we want a discussion on federalism and the centre overstepping the mark and interfering in states which are not run by the BJP like in Bengal. But those weren't issues like unemployment, farmer distress, all that. But there were the broader issues where we said that, can you hear me, Ankita?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Line.
All right, we seem to be having some troubles with that line with Derek O'Brien. We'll try and come back to him in a moment to discuss what the Trinamool Congress had to say at that all-party meeting, which was chaired by the Prime Minister this morning. Now, as we were saying, lots of issues that the opposition will be facing, a very reduced opposition at that. Derek O'Brien is back with us. Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the issues which the Trinamool brought up were, of course, electoral funding, electoral reform, state funding for elections. These are issues which are paper ballots, very, very important. And of course, overstepping federalism. In fact, the government not really interested in practicing true federalism. So these are the issues. And of course, unemployment, agrarian crisis and all that. But the bigger issues also, we said in terms of form, let me tell you, the parliamentary standing committees where bills are scrutinized, now there was an average of about three out of every 4 bills being scrutinized earlier. 75% of bills were scrutinized. But in the last Lok Sabha between 2014 and 19, yes, we pointed out to the government that only 1 out of 4 bills were being scrutinized. This is completely unacceptable because if you don't scrutinize bills, then you bypass Parliament.
Okay.
That's where the real scrutiny happens in Parliament, in a parliamentary standing committee. That's the first point we made, and we suggested strongly, and other parties agreed, that we must move it up from 25% back to the original 75%. You must scrutinize bills. Okay. Second, we gave them statistics to show them that earlier, in the first 30 years after independence, every 10 bills that were passed, 1 was an ordinance. Then from year 30 to year 60, out of every 10 bills which were passed, 2 were an ordinance. But now in the last 1 year of this government, 4 ordinances for every 10 bills, that's 40%. Right. That was also unacceptable. The third suggestion, if you really want to empower women, we suggested this to Trinamool, and after that we are happy that so many parties agreed, but the BJP haven't yet spoken. Bring the women's reservation bill, bring it next week, bring it and pass it, because that is real women's empowerment. Right. Parties like Trinamool already have 41% women MPs. We don't need the bill.
Do you believe that it will make a difference?
If this government is serious about women's empowerment,
yes. Do you believe it will make a difference to have, for the first time, the highest number of women MPs in Parliament? Is the situation more conducive than ever before to the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill?
Well, I hate to say this to you that even after we made the suggestion and all other parties agreed, I don't know whether the BJP are serious about bringing this bill. Because this is not only about empowering women at the MP level. This is also about empowering at the state legislative level. At the panchayat levels, where already in West Bengal 50% of the representatives are women. 41% of our women are Lok Sabha MPs are women. Biju Janata Dal also have about 30% plus. Overall, it's only about 13 or 14%. So if this government, if they really talk about good legislation, bring this one first, put your money where your mouth is, and pass the Women's Reservation Bill, and then talk about women's empowerment later.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the suggestion we made.
Yes.
We made, and there were many other parties who made, different suggestions, and I think it was a good start. But the onus to run Parliament is not on the opposition. The government must be serious that we've given them these suggestions,
about that.
And I hope they take it in that spirit.
Yes,
because.
Derek O'Brien, the fresh bill to bar instant triple talaq is also going to be introduced in Parliament to replace the ordinance issued in February. We take your point completely about the number of ordinances that we saw. But the previous bill lapsed as it couldn't be cleared in the Rajya Sabha. Do you believe that there will be opposition consensus, or will key bills once again run into obstacles in the Rajya Sabha, where for the moment at least the government is still in a minority?
That you'll have to ask the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and the government. They know what the numbers they have. One of the NDA allies, the JDU, who haven't joined the NDA, have gone on record, what I've seen and read in the media, they've gone on record saying that they won't support Bill X, Y and Z. So those are the issues which the government have to sort out. Trinamool Congress's view is very, very clear. But
right.
I think there is still, it's not about having it's not about not having the numbers in Rajya Sabha, and the government don't have the numbers. If there is good bills, if they bring good bills which are people-oriented bills, they are not anti-federal bills, they have been scrutinized by standing committees. If they follow this basic decorum and don't knock down and kill all the institutions, be it Parliament, be it RBI, be it Election Commission, be it all these institutions have to survive. So we want to strengthen Parliament.
Yes, strengthen Parliament, but would you say...
You cannot use your majority to bulldoze.
Okay, don't use your majority to bulldoze, but would you say that the reduced numbers of the opposition make for a weakened opposition? Also, there's been no strategy session this time. That's customary before every Parliament session between just opposition parties. Do you see that as an obstacle, as a problem?
Where is the opposition weakened? There's no difference in the Rajya Sabha. Absolutely no difference. Three or four seats this way, 3 or 4 seats that way. If you really look at the Lok Sabha numbers, it is more or less, if you look at the AIDMK and the DMK, they've replaced themselves. I don't think here there's an opposition weekend. I think the verdict is very clear, and this verdict is not that someone is the victor and someone is the vanquished. In a parliamentary democracy, the spirit we have to take is that the people of India have voted with so much of money power, muscle power. We'll get to all those things later and we'll discuss it in the floor of Parliament. They voted for a government and they voted for an opposition. So the opposition have to play their role as the opposition, the government have to play the role in the government. But of course we will be bringing up these points about the hose pipe kind of money which was used in these elections, the kind of money which was pumped in. We'll get to those points later.
But Derek O'Brien, one quick last question. Has the Trinamool and its chief been far too busy firefighting on multiple fronts within Bengal, or does it have its parliament strategy all set?
I was in Bengal till day before yesterday. I don't know when you were last in Bengal, but the weather, the only fire in Bengal is the heat of the summer sun.
And you're
Otherwise,
saying,
Bengal is doing very, very
unrest,
well. It's number one in
strike, none of
it's number
these are
one
any
in skill
problem.
development. No. Bengal is number one for skill development. Bengal is number one for Manrega. Bengal is number one for e-tendering. Bengal is number one for a host of on tax collection. Bengal is on a host of number one on so many issues. That a political party who have won a few seats in Bengal are trying to stir the pot, we will fight that politically. And I'm sure you can have another program and I'll come and answer all your questions, on that. Please remember that Bengal out of 294 out of, one second, let me just finish. Bengal out of 294 seats now in the assembly, the Trinamool Congress still have 217 MLAs. So the people of Bengal are firmly behind Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress, and in the next 2 years, we will keep going with development and peace and harmony.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Derek O'Brien, thanks very much indeed for joining us on Left, Right and Centre tonight.